Hey everyone, this is my wonderful husband,
Hi,
and we
everybody.
are going to talk to him, and I'm going to do a little interview of him of what it is like from the father's side of pregnancy loss. So, do you remember the day we found out the news?
Yeah, we did end up going to Columbia St. Mary's. You was getting what they call those
Ultrasound?
ultrasound. Yeah, thank you. So you wanted to know what the sex was, and I was just like, I want to be surprised. So I went into another room, just sat there for a bit. Then I heard my name out loud. Then Robert came out and said, "Mom needs you." So came in and yeah, that was the news that we heard that he's passed. So I guess like my reaction of it is like, really?
I
It's
remember you just stood there like lost. You just looked completely lost.
I think it was because like I didn't like understand it. Like why?
That bit right there.
Yeah.
Why?
And like I was saying, like, is it my fault? Like, did I cause that to happen? So that's how I was just thinking, like, probably like for the first maybe month, I was like, it's my fault. And you did came to me and assured me, like it it could have happened either way, so it doesn't like matter, and it's not like either of our faults. It's just one of those things that just happens. But I guess I was the one that trying to like stay strong, and I know you like it hurted you, hit you the hardest than anything. And I guess with me, it was just like slowly hitting me, but it's just like me trying to be like supposed to be the strong alpha male, as they call.
I'm going to have to correct you a little bit on that. You and I process things like grief and everything different ways. So it wasn't a case of it hit me the hardest. I just showed it more outwardly than you did because you were um under the thoughts of that you've been like pushed through society, that you had to hide your grief and be strong. So I'm just going to put it that way. So what do you remember about the hospital stay?
The hospital stay. Although I was like had to work and stuff, like going back and forth, so staying there like overnight for like the hospital, because I know you had to wait on until it could naturally come out. Well, they gave you something
They
for it.
gave me medication, yes, for
Yeah,
it.
to just speed it up, and it was coming, and I know you asked like, do I want to see him, but I was just like, I just couldn't. Like it was just better for me not to like look or see him. Not nothing because like trying to make myself like, okay, I can't see it, it's gonna like haunt me or anything like that. It wasn't that. I think it was just better for me not to see him.
You weren't ready at that point.
Yeah, and
Because you've
plus,
seen him since. We'll
yeah,
put it out there. You saw him a few days later. You did ask to see him, and I had the few photos that we had.
yeah,
So you did ask to see him a few days later,
right,
but at that particular moment, you just couldn't do it.
right. Yeah, I just couldn't. But it's just like I still see him, and like I know his spirit is still around, and I still feel his presence. Although I know it's kind of be weird for some people to think that, but I know some people know like about just having the presence of a loved one just being around you, guiding you, and all that. So every time I get like a tingle like on my back, like that's him, I'll just say, hey.
Hey, Maddie.
Yeah. And sometimes, every now and then, I do like just talk to him in my own mind. But yeah, I think like later on, it was starting to hit me more. But I guess like she was like mentioning, like some of us men don't want to like be folded, but it's okay to be folded or be emotional that you lost either a son or a daughter.
What was the one thing that surprised you about Matthew's death?
Some one surprise. I guess the only thing that could be like surprising that we're not alone. That's the only thing I can think of is like we're not alone. People like suffer loss and stuff like that, and I guess like Maddie's Mary is like a big platform for everybody, to tell their stories from what they was dealing with when they lost a son or daughter, either stillborn or just like early death. But I'm just glad like Maddie's Mary is like more and more of a platform for people just to talk about their stories, like being there for like one another and just showing that you're not the only one that's going through this, and like try to help whatever we can.
Were you surprised at how many friends turned their backs on us?
Yeah, I am.
I don't know about you. I'm not saying that the loss of Matthew wasn't hard, because it is hard every single freaking day. And every day at some point, for the past 14 years, I've cried for him.
Right.
Whether it's publicly in front of you or alone in the shower. I've cried every day for him. But they call it a secondary loss, was when friends turned their backs because we didn't grieve fast enough for him.
Oh yeah, especially people thinking like, oh, y'all should get over him already.
Yeah.
No.
And like the people who got in their feelings because we didn't ask them to come to the funeral.
Oh God, yeah. I think that was the hardest. That certain people, that in the different community that I'm involved in, that some of them, I think the thing is, it's good to know how snakes some people are now. Then like later on, be like, okay, oh now this coming out, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's glad to knew it then knew it now, because I think if they would have turned their backs now, I think it just wouldn't be good. Just put it that way.
Well, and the thing is, we have had friends who've turned up their backs now on us in regards to Matthew, because we wouldn't put their needs ahead of ours. But it's happened in a different kind of way if you think about it. For me, when we buried Matthew, and we buried Matthew on August 23rd of 2012. So it has been just shy of just over 14 years ago.
Yeah, like 3 days after.
Yeah. That was when there was a lot of hatred started pouring our way. It started actually, and I can tell you where it started. It started with one particular female friend I had, who was there at the memorial service. We invited her to the memorial service. And then because she wasn't invited to the funeral, then said, well, I don't want to be a part of WFSO anymore. Went running to certain people within the wrestling community and said that we had lied about Matthew. And for some of them, that's all they needed to run.
Mm-hmm.
And then she played the victim when she was confronted on it. but still carried on and doubled down that we had lied, despite the fact that she was one of the first to know about me being pregnant. Her and her sister came and spent a night at my home when I was on bed rest. They were invited to them, and this is the thing, why would we have a memorial service where your family was there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the woman who I refer to as my sister, who is Matthew's godmother, was at the hospital with us.
Yeah.
You know, but this so-called friend took it upon herself to go tell everybody within the wrestling community we had lied. And we've literally spent 14 years since trying to prove that we haven't. And they've tried destroying everything since then, but that's a story for another time. What was the one thing that surprised you family-wise after Matthew's death?
Ooh, family-wise. Let's see. I think part of it was, like, I was like on and off like ends with my mom, but part of it kind of like got us like close. But then again, like more years and years on, is like she finally like acknowledged him that he was around, so that was a good thing.
Well, she actually was skipping out of work, wasn't she? Because she worked at the nursing home right across the street from St. Mary's. And she kept skipping out of work and coming over to sit with us at the hospital.
Exactly.
And she would... This is the funny bit. This is one thing, and I don't know why it's just popped in my head. Like, oh my God. One of the funny things about that was, obviously for the hospital she worked in, she had a work ID.
Right.
And I will say she's a CNA. So she worked, she's in scrubs, she's got a work ID. And she was flashing her ID to get access the back way into our room, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And we said to her, we went, hey, it was the first night we were there, she came over at like 11:30 at night when she finished her shift. And we're like,
Right.
how did you get over here? Visiting hours are over. She went, I got ID. She said, I just walked through flashing my ID and they let me through. And we had that tells you how bad security was there. But
Right.
for us, it was, I think that was the first time really that you realized that your mum would put you ahead of things and do what she had to get to you. So
Right.
what was the one thing you wish we had done at his funeral and memorial service that we didn't?
I think it ended up excuse me. I think it ended up fine. No issues with the memorial service. Well, except for the other person, that child has died there and just act like,
Oh, at the funeral?
yeah, like the child just didn't exist. I don't even know. We should. I want to call it out so bad right now, but I can't.
Yeah. Just put it this way, we went through hell, and this person is extremely well known in Wisconsin and the Milwaukee area.
Mm-hmm.
And she made because what we should have to point out is we were led to believe that because our son was born at 21 weeks, we were led to believe that we couldn't have him
Right.
buried by himself, that he had to be part of a mass burial. So he was buried with other babies, including this woman's child. As she made it all about her, overly dramatic, and then she actually was instrumental in stopping us getting a headstone for the babies
Right.
for many years until I threatened to go to the press over it.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, but what is one memory from the memorial service that you really like? And I wish you would turn that down because
I didn't know that was going up.
that's very loud.
Okay, so the question was,
What's one happy memory from the memorial service? I actually have two, so I'll tell you mine after yours.
Really, just I don't think I had a happy memory with that funeral.
I'm not on about the funeral. I'm on about the memorial.
Oh,
At
you
the
mean
Jackson Park.
that everybody was there. That I thought you were at the funeral, but
No.
yeah, for the memorial, everybody was there. So
My two was watching you, your brother, and your nephews, and Robert all playing basketball. And then remember Robert climbing up the tree, and he got to the top of the tree, and he yelled, "Hey Matthew, can you see me? I love you." And see, it's going to make me cry just thinking about it. Because he went through hell too. And I think people forget that. So I'm sorry. What is one thing you have learnt in the 14 years since Matthew's death?
Well, like, although, I wish he was here. But him not being here, and I guess it made me more, aware of, that, I guess, with spirits and things like that he's still around. Although, I wasn't a non-believer of any of that, but it's just like, I just know he's with me 24/7. But yeah,
And just a little side story for people. When I was in hospital having him, it stormed. Literally. The Thursday night that we found out, the Friday night while I was in labor, and the Saturday. And it's not funny, haha, but it's always been kind of a giggle to us that those 3 days every year since, we've had bad storms, haven't we? And I'm not just on about little rumbles of thunder. We're on about bad storms. High winds, severe storms, tornadoes, all of that lot. So it's almost like, that boy's partying. He's partying. So what is the one thing that you are proud of in regards to his legacy?
That is still living on to this day, and we're doing him proud. I think that's the main thing.
I don't know about you, but I like it when we go to events and people know who we are and they're like, "Hey, Maddie's mum and dad are here." Because we're still acknowledged as as parents.
Right. I like that. And I guess the one thing that I can't stand the most is like when we ask for help, and I guess it's like some people True Colors come out too. It's donation and things like that, so we can, do this for the hospitals or do that for help people and things like that. That's the one thing I just don't like, that,
It's hard to do it.
Yeah, that some people are just snobs and they don't want to help, for a good cause, and it's like they pushing away that a child's loss or something like that. Oh, that can never happen to me.
Yeah, we thought the same thing.
Yeah. Then suddenly, when it happens to you, then
here we are.
It'll be in us, but not to be, mean about it. But it's like everybody gonna have a cause they want to work with, and you're gonna want to turn to people to help. So if people helping each other should be the main goal in life,
make the whole world a better place.
Yeah, make the whole world a better place, and not being all selfish.
All right, so out of everything that we have done for Maddie's memory, what do you think is our greatest accomplishment?
I guess, with having the bridge pink and blue every October. So I think that's like a bit, well, that's like a big accomplishment, but that's a good one so far. But yeah, I'll just stick with the having the bridge turn like pink and blue every year.
For me, it was when we've received letters of commendation and we know that somebody has applied for that for us.
Yeah,
And it's just like, okay, we just received this. What the, it's like, oh my God.
right.
All right. Do you think that since Matthew's death, that you love harder and you show your love more?
Um,
I'm not on about just towards me, but to like Robert, your family, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. I will believe that. Yeah. I think it's like I guess it also just shows like appreciation in life as well. That life is precious. Like treat every moment of your life the positive and the best way you can.
What is one thing you would like to see Maddie's memory do in the future?
Get like a freaking grant
That would
so
be
we can do
nice.
more. Because it's just like you apply to all these grants, it's like you're getting either turned away or something else happens. So it'd just be good to get a grant so we can do more.
All right, so as we get into the final realms of this, what is one thing that you would want to tell other fathers going through this?
That you're not alone and you need anybody to talk to, just look into the baby loss community. Wherever you talk to, a female that, lost her baby or a dad that, experienced it like the loss of a child, but not the way, that female has, but males, we're deal with it differently, but you don't have to deal with it differently. Like, just talk to me or any other guy that experienced like a loss of a child, because we been through it, and it kind of helps us actually to talk to each other about that, like just to our experience and things like that, because it could help us.
Yep.
And plus help us grieve.
All right, thank you, honey.
No problem.
I love you.
I love you too.
Always.